So I think that there's some weird misconception about melanated or copper colored or those who call themselves Black Americans. There's some kind of misconception that we don't like America, and what I'm noticing is that a lot of people are really believing that we didn't come from this country. We didn't come from this continent. And so, but then there is another set of a group of other people in the United States um, that knows that we're not from Africa, that knows that we've been here, that knows that we were never always called Black Americans. We had other names. There is foreigners who know who the Black Americans are. And those foreigners, we call them American too. But we know that they come from Ireland. We know that they come from Scotland. We know that they come from Poland and Germany and Russia. We know that. We just continue on with our lives and we mind our business. But what I'm noticing is that there's a lot of people also that believe that we don't like this country, that this country ain't never did anything for us, that we're not of this country. And those people are part of the problem of why our land got taken away from us. There was people like that 60 years ago. There was people like that in the 1800s. There was people like that before 1776. We had people who just didn't want to be here, who hated this country, who just hated their land. I don't know why. That was just something that I read about and I seen. Every time you read about the Indian Wars, it's no difference than so-called black on black crime, is what they want to call it. But we've always had problems with people that look just like us in our own land. And most of the time, at times it's our own families. It's not even like a random stranger. Most of the time it's people who we grow up with. Most of the time it's people who share the same blood as us. We are the ones who have the problem with each other. But anyways, so every time the number 1776 comes up, July 4th, you see online where there's black people who are like, oh, my ancestors were slaves. My ancestors were slaves. My ancestors were slaves. And I've done the research. I've seen black Americans owning, like having their own plantation with black Americans on their slave schedule. So now you have to question yourself. Hold on, there was black people enslaving black people? Yeah. Now, previously I had made a video about the difference between slavery and indentured servitude. Look up both of those words. Look up both of those words and tell me the difference between what some of our people were doing in the 1800s as slaves versus their descendants. What are we're doing right now? Are we working on our free will, right? Is anyone forcing us to work? Can we quit? And if we quit, what happens? We're not getting any money. Then so you look at those situations. Then you look at the taxation. You look at you're working and they're taking money from us. And it's like that's wrong. And I don't care what anyone says. Oh well, what about the bridges? What about paying for the streets? Okay, okay. What about paying for the streets? What about the people who actually need help? What about the people who've been working since they were like 16 years old because they had to work because their parents probably couldn't get a decent job? Who knows? And what I'm starting to realize, uh, people, and I know comedians make fun of this, but they'll say, I get offended when I see poor so called white people. Like, as a joke, I've seen comedians talk about that. Like, how can white people be poor? That's a whole nother topic that I researched too. But yeah, so on social media, you see these so-called Black Americans coming online saying that they hate this country, they don't want to be in this country. This country is racist and blah, 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 blah. Well, a lot of us are like, nah, I love this place. No, I can be back here all day. I can be back here all day. And then I look at one side of my family that comes from the Caribbean. It was stated multiple times by some Europeans that they felt like that they were in a holy land when they would come to the Caribbean. Not to take away North America, like this part of the Americas, not to take away from the United States. The United States was always listed as some place with gold. I don't, weird, right? But you have copper-colored people who actually care about this country, and it's weird when you have other people who come on here and it's like they say some weird disrespectful, like the same place where your grandmother is from, the same place where your grandfather, like they love this country. I don't know. I always thought it's weird that there's people online that really think that all black people, so-called black people, don't care about this country. We absolutely do. We absolutely do. But I think a lot of us are tired of fighting for someone else than fighting for ourselves. All the money that we're getting is going to so many other people. So I don't know. There is a bunch of us that actually care about this country, that cares about certain parts of Massachusetts, that cares about certain parts of Alabama, California. There is black people in Utah. I don't know why people don't think that we're not everywhere. We're everywhere. I've heard someone say there are no black people in West Virginia. Do your research. Do your research. We're everywhere. We're in the places that people usually don't think that we're not supposed to be at. That's the weird part. Like, people think wherever there's descendants of Europeans, in the mass majority, if there's a lot of them, we're not supposed to live where they are. But they came here. They came here. We didn't. A lot of us was already here. So I don't know. Just wanted to say that, and I think that there's more to 1776 that they're not exposing to the children, to the schools, to the HBCUs. People just need to go to the library and read, or even YouTube. There's some people who are going to give you multiple different accounts of what they believed happened in 1776 because they read books. Some will say it was a race war. Some will say they were trying to kill black people. Some will say, oh, it was Europeans fighting for their freedom from Europe, so they came over here. It's different versions of what 1776 is. Just say do your research, because it's very important. It is very important. And I feel as though that whatever society is trying to push now amongst every real human person in this country is definitely turning into some weird race war. And it's always been like that for some weird reason. But when you go back in time, that's what you're going to see too. You're going to see the Europeans fighting the copper colored people. You're going to see the copper colored people fighting the copper colored people. You're going to see the Europeans fighting the Europeans all over here. So you're not really going to get a real gist of, oh, it was just one thing. Oh, there was multiple things happening. What we're going through right now is no different than what was going on back then. The problem is, a lot of people don't think that we are those same people, that we come from those same people. When all they did was write about us, that's all they did. And when they wrote about us, they just reclassified us. That's it. You can sit here and think that you're reading about some Asian looking person, but most of the time the story was about someone who looked like me. Oprah Winfrey, Candace Owens, some random melanated person. It's always been about us. But y'all can sit here and think that there's a bunch of copper colored people who don't care about America, who don't care about the United States, who don't care about Honduras, who don't care about Haiti. We do care about all those places. But if we're here in the United States, we got to take care of us. And a lot of us do actually care about each other. I don't know. Just felt like I need to say that. Don't believe the hype. What you see online is not real. There's a lot of us that actually care about this country, and we care about it way more than 1776. Trust me on that. We know stories that happened before 1776. So this day, July 4th, a lot of us just see it as another day, but most of us already know what happened or believe what happened. And it wasn't just slavery. A lot of us know that there was some other stuff going on that now we're just realizing that, but a lot of us can't really speak our mind on it because people think we're delusional or we don't know what we're talking about. Everything that what's been going on has either been planned or it's been going on. I think it's just people need to do their research, because now you're really gonna start questioning a lot of things. And that's been my issue with just society. Like, you try to explain stuff to your family members and they they don't care. They don't care. And that's how a lot of us feel like that. So you end up just shutting down, or you talk to certain people. I think we've always lived off of some secret. And I think that's why a lot of us are just don't want to have the conversation. Like, I really don't care what's going on with the celebrity world because they got their own life. I'm trying to understand why did they keep changing our names. They kept changing our names, our ethnicity. I don't know. So yeah, so 1776 is some consider it as a good thing, some consider it as a bad thing. That's all I'm saying. that's all I'm saying. The stories just don't make sense. Just don't make sense. But yeah, just on my porch, relaxing. It's not even my porch. I'm just renting, but I'm just saying my porch because it's the only way I can, you can make yourself feel happy. I see a lot of things different right now, and coming out here just lets me think and puts a lot of things into perspective. And then I feel like a lot of us are going through that, and you're just trying to find the right people to talk to about it, or you just want to express your feelings and keep the not, keep making sure people know what's up, and people know who we are. You know, I don't know what part of the Bible this is in, but I know I've heard it multiple times that it says, "My people lack of knowledge." Look up the word ignorant. Look up the word ignorant. Tell me what that means. And then go back in time, maybe like 100-year-old dictionary. I think you can go to Webster.com or something like that and look up the word nigger. Nigger. It's the same thing. It don't have no color to it. It don't have no color to it. But someone made it attached to a color. So yeah, so I do a lot of reading, and I try my best to question, and I try to have conversations. There's only a few people who I can have like real deep conversations with. I question every religion too. Muslim, Jewish, Christianity. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. But, I remember being like my early 20s asking someone in the church about Nostradamus. And they were like, "Oh, he's just a made-up person." I was like, okay. They couldn't really give me a real definition. That was their belief, that he was not this. He was just a regular man, and he was just seemed as crazy. I'm like, okay. But yeah. So just want to come out here, let people know, hey, there are melanated people who belong to America, who were here in America before everyone else. Copper-colored people that actually love this continent, and we love this country. And if you're nice to us, we're nice to you. That's just how we see it. But I think it's fair to say that you really got to start questioning a lot of things. Once you start hearing people give you information, and they give you books, and they tell you to look and read, and if you don't read it, you're not going to believe them. You're just going to think, oh, she don't know what she's talking about. She's delusional. Nope, you have to read. You have to, don't take my word for it. Don't believe me. Don't listen to anything I say. You could be nice. You could be like, yeah, okay, whatever, Chanel, yeah, I heard you. Oh, that's fine. And then you really don't. But most of the stuff that I tell people about, it's right there in your face. So yeah, that was it. Just come out here to think. Want to get my little perspective. a little tidbit, a little history of my people, because we are organic to this land. This is our land. So a lot of us do try our best to treat it with respect. We understand that this is where God made us. This is our home. And then a lot of us are just now realizing that who were all those people that they were fighting? They talking about all the Indians. Like, you just don't see it with them other people. You can't see it with them other people who don't look tough. Them people don't look tough. I don't know who those people are. I don't try to study anyone else. I don't try to study Irish people. I don't try to study Asian people. I just try to study my people. I just try to get to know them, know us more. So when you go back in time 400 years ago and you're like, who were the Indians? Who were the Indians? Like, it couldn't have been them Asian people. Absolutely not. They just kept changing our name. They just kept reclassifying us. Whenever they were right about us, they just kept reclassifying us. So eventually, you forget to know who you are. That's in the Bible too. They didn't know who they were either. But I digress. So I come out here to debrief on what's going on right now. I think a lot of things that are happening right now have always been going on, but it was just different people with different names, and some of those same people are still here today. A lot of them are, actually. Yeah. That's it.